What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Collecting JP93. Today in the video we are going to be repainting this Baryonyx, turning it into the Kenner Juvenile Baryonyx that came in the Series 2 Skinner pack. We're just basically going to be going off of this paint job. It's not going to look exact, but it's going to much resemble it. So basically you're going to want to start with a primer coat. Make sure you get all that on there so you can get the paint to stick. And to get that cream color, you're going to want a good ratio. It's going to mostly be white. And then you're just going to want, a drop of yellow. Mix it, play with it. If it's a little light, do another drop or so, and just find that happy color. Go off your reference photo, do what you got to do. And basically right now I mix the yellow and white, titanium white, golden high flow, so it flows really nice. Gets into all the nooks and crannies without filling them. You can use the apple barrel, just remember to thin it down. I have, used that many times. You can still get a phenomenal product. You just got to remember to thin it down. You just don't want to fill in all that. You don't want to fill in all the detail. You want the detail to pop by the time you get all these coats on. So you just want to get a nice even all over. And basically by the time of the end of this paint job, you're not going to see a ton of the cream, because I did a nice airbrush to kind of blend it all in with a light burnt umber, just to kind of blend the cream, the blue, the black all together. And you'll see that as we go further on and get towards the end of the video. And the good thing with, it's not such a good thing, but you have to make sure that you bend the legs and the arms and try to get, when the articulation goes in and out. So make sure you want to move those arms and legs and get all in those nooks and crannies. Make sure you get a nice even paint job. And so now we're at the point where it is the second cream coat. Just because I wasn't very satisfied with the first coat, just being too light. I know the Kenner Juvenile, the paint job that we're going off of, it's very basic. We're going to make it look a little more antagonizing and aggressive, basically. It was a juvenile, it was small, now it's a full-grown, adult. We just want it to look really menacing and nice. And so on the blue here, you're going to want to take teal and just a drop or two of indigo blue just to darken it up. You don't want to go with just a solid blue. Um, when I was comparing the paint and looking at it, um, took a little while to actually get that perfect blue on there. But yeah, with the teal and the indigo blue, it turned out great. It was such a close match. I was really satisfied with it. So play around with it. If you don't get it on the first coat and it ends up light, that's all right. Go over it again. Um, just be light-handed with it. Make sure it has a good flow, all that good stuff. And basically here, you kind of, off of your reference photo, you kind of want to match it, but you don't necessarily need to match it 100%. You want to remember it's grown a lot since then. Things could have evolved and changed. So this is your chance to be as artistic as you want. Going off of any paint job, that's kind of how I do it. I mean, if you're going for an exact match, great. That's awesome. But for me, I was just, this was basically a guideline paint job that I wanted to do and thought it would be really cool to do and share it with all of you. Had to get that fan off. It was drying out the paint too quickly, and it didn't need to be on. Although it does help speed things up. Wait time for drying, can be a pain. Hair dryer works great on a low heat. Obviously a fan, works good. Doesn't work great, but it does speed things up. All right, we're just getting ready to go over this thing a second coat, and then we are going to start on the black. So I've went over it again, went in with a fine detail and did all the pattern design that I wanted to do, that I thought looked great. Got a close match to the juvenile Baryonyx, but like I said, I wanted to go off a little, my own creation basically. And so now we're just going to go in. We're going to start dabbing along the top of the snout with a carbon black to get from the snout to the end of the tail. All right, now that since we've gotten all the way from the tip of the snout to the end of the tail, going off of your outline, go off of your reference photo and get a close match. You can lightly dab basically an outline of how you want to do it. I stuck to about 90% of this design, and then went in, you know, eventually after with a fine detail brush, and did exactly what I did with the blue. Just made it to where you could see that third color overlapping, and you just basically start dabbing and follow your reference line. It is a definitely good little trick for a beginner painter. If you're not sure how you're gonna, you know, usually you go one side at a time. Some people do, you know, both sides at a time. It's a little more difficult that way. This way, you know, it's an easy guideline basically. All right, and so now we're, you know, going in with a fine detail brush, like I said before. This is, you know, a slow process. It's definitely not quick. You know, you need to make sure that you have a fine detail brush, and you just lightly dab and go in, and you know, be artistic. Give it a shot. You don't have to have just a basic dull paint job. I mean, you can go in and make this thing look as aggressive as you'd like. So just like Ted Brothers says, hold your breath time. And of course my hat gets in the way. Lovely. But yeah, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to Collecting JP93 for reviews, more repaints, customs, that kind of thing. And also, you can also check out my Instagram page. I do a lot of toy photography over there, Collecting JP93. So after you finish up the black, you're going to go in and you're going to do the teeth and the tongue, and that's all very fine detail. You know, that takes a few. Take your time with it. Don't rush the eyes. Don't rush the tongue, and don't rush the teeth. They are a huge part. And the skill goes into the detail. Like, take your time with it. And so here I have filled in the red eye that the Baryonyx has. I went over the teeth and did the edge of the jaw line and the inside of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. And I've lightly went over with a light burnt umber. You could stop at this point in time if you'd like to. I wanted to keep going. I wanted a little more detail into it. I wanted to make this thing look muddy and just menacing, swamp, you know, fish hunting Baryonyx. So I was having clogging issues with the airbrush. Had to clean that out and get that all fixed up. But we're going to go in again and tie it all in together. We're going to get the feet more muddy. We're going to get the claws, the arms and the hands more muddy looking, kind of like he's been leaning in a bank or something, waiting on a fish or something to swim by. And so here we are with it completely airbrushed and finished. Very happy with where I'm at. We took a lighter red and went inside, and then we took just lightly, this was an extra step, by the way, totally didn't have to do this, but took a menthol red and just went over and kind of made it look bloody, more darker. Just all in all, I thought it was great. I got the slits for the pupils. The eyes turned out great, I thought. And you know, you want to get all your claws painted. Just kind of, you know, you want to mix you know, um, here I just went with a Van Dyke brown, and then of course I had to do the throwback JP on the leg there. Turned out all right. Wasn't as great as I would have liked it, but there it is, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll leave you guys to the photos. See you guys in the next one.